Good afternoon and welcome to the Tennessee State Funding Board of April 26, 2023. Starting just a few minutes late. Sorry about that. But glad everyone's here. I do note a physical quorum of the funding board is present. First item on our agenda today for the funding board's consideration and approval of the funding board minutes from March 27th, 2023. Members, I hope you took time to review those in your packet before the meeting. If there's any questions or discussion, would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion made, properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of the minutes, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next up, we have a report from the Department of Economic and Community Development for approval of funding for a couple of fast track projects. Commissioner McWhorter, you are recognized. And you and Mr. Borden and Mr. Vandermeer, you're recognized. You all can go in whatever order you like.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members. It's great to be back. We have a few projects to present to you today with me, Alan Borden, Deputy Commissioner, and Paul Vandermeer, Assistant Commissioner, and I'll ask Paul to walk through the fast track balance report.
Good afternoon. From our last report, we had a balance of $243.4 million. Since then, we've gotten new appropriations of $1.6 million. That was interest earned for the month of February. Had $228,000 de-obligated, $3 million in grants approved greater than $750,000, and $367,500 grants less than $750,000, and admin expenses of $120,700, leaving us with a balance of $241.7 million, against which we have $235.3 million of commitments. That leaves us with an uncommitted balance of $6.5 million, which is 97.3%. The proposed projects today are $9,249,653, which would leave us an uncommitted balance of $2,796,745.19 negative. That represents 101.2% expended at this point.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any questions? Good.
Any questions? Commissioner, you're good to proceed.
Thank you. So we have three projects to present today. The first is 6K Energy Tennessee in Jackson, Madison County. 6K will establish a full-scale battery material manufacturing plant in Jackson. It's a new plus cam factory that will be built. That will be the world's first Unimelt plasma cathode plant, providing low-cost, ultra-sustainable production of battery material for localized supply chains in the U.S. 6K Energy Tennessee has committed to create 230 net new jobs and make $166 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $22.56, which compares to the county median wage of $17.69 an hour. Fast Track Economic Development grant funds will help offset expenses such as new building construction, acquisition of real property, and fixture improvements for a total of $1.75 million. The second project is Sonova Silicon LLC, Tiptonville, Lake County. Members, if you may recall, on December of 21, you all approved a Fast Track Economic Development grant of $2.2 million for this project to offset some construction costs. Just as a reminder, Sonova owns a fully permitted quartz deposit in British Columbia. This quartz is ideal material for manufacturing the elements that make up silicon anode batteries, solar panels, and semiconductor components once it's transformed into silicon metal. So they have come back, the company has come back to ask permission, or we have come back to ask permission to offer the city of Tiptonville a fast track infrastructure development program grant to offset costs to the city of Tiptonville, which would be incurring costs related to transportation, rail, roadway improvements, site improvements, water storage, water line extensions, bless you, sewer systems, sewer line extension, gas line, and telecommunications. This is an additional award to the award we provided back in December of last year. So the total, this amount is for just under $6.5 million. So the total between this and the one that has been approved gets this project to a total of about $8.7 million. And just as a reminder, Sunnova is committed to create, from the last meeting in December, create 140 net new jobs on this project. They're investing $150 million in Lake County, and their wages are $29.59 for these jobs, comparing to the county wage, median wage of $17.19. So the request today is for $6.49 million fast track grant. The third and last project is Cordza Inc. in Chattanooga, Hamilton County. Cordza is a subsidiary of the Cordza US. They develop environmentally friendly products in the tire industry that reduce fuel consumption and provide better grip. The Chattanooga facility will manufacture nylon 66 yarn and ships it to North Carolina, where it is converted to a tire cord fabric and sold to tire manufacturers across the United States. They've committed to create 200 net new jobs and make a $50 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $25.55, comparing to the county median wage of $18.47 an hour. Fast Track Economic Development Grant funds will help offset expenses such as fixture improvements, building expansion, and building retrofit for a total of $1 million. And that concludes summary of the three projects.
Thank you very much. Members, I have a question. In order to ask it, would appreciate a motion. Second, to move forward with the projects.
Second.
Have a motion properly seconded. One question I have, Commissioner, if you can talk about Sunnova. I know at one point in time, in particular, Lake County, I believe, was their most distressed county in Tennessee.
Correct.
And this investment, it sounds to me like, has the potential to really transform life in Lake County in a way.
Sir.
And just wanted you all to talk about the opportunity you have seen there as you pursued this project.
Well, you're correct. It is still the most distressed county, I believe, of all the 95 counties in the state. And we're super excited about it. One, because they've chosen Lake County to develop this plant and produce this product. It's essential. One, it's essential to the battery ecosystem that's, continuing to build around the state. But it's a fantastic company. It's a great story, great CEO, management team. They're committed to the community. They're actually, beyond just what they're making investment in the building and hiring the folks to staff that building and build this product, they're committed to the community. Just to, have the conversation with the CEO and the management team about how they view their role as a community partner is exciting. I think that will actually, because of people like them, I think it's going to actually spur additional investment in that industrial park in the long run.
Right. I think you said 140 jobs
Correct.
Initially.
Yes.
Hopefully with a chance to expand if successful. Do you feel like they have a ready workforce there right now?
Yeah, that's always a topic of conversation with all of our projects. Once we sort of get through the obvious check marks of all the things that we have to be ready to prepare a site for. But it's a conversation we're having. We're obviously working very closely with the community. And, the good news is we know we have some time to develop a strategy, working very closely with higher ed, with labor workforce development around different strategies to not only attract, but retain and skill up the talent that's needed for that. But that's part of the reason why they chose to go there, is they believe that there's an opportunity to do that.
It seems like an opportunity for a very positive effect on not just 140 people, but maybe 140 families. And then, of course, we understand that the ripples go out from there. So I appreciate you bringing the project. Members, any other questions or comments about any of these? Commissioner?
I have one. Actually, I had two questions, and you took the first one, so I'll ask the second one. Commissioner, could you explain in some detail what a Unimelt plasma?
No, I
cathode
can't.
plant is?
No, but I will say this. I mean, Alan's our resident battery guy here. He could probably answer that question, but I will say it's a unique process, and it's not something that you see happening really around the world. And it is a critical component to the battery element to the battery. And as you all know, that's part of our role in putting this puzzle together for the EV industry. But I don't know, Alan, do you bring your
Actually, I have no further
Take your
questions. Thank you.
class today? You want to speak to this?
All right.
Well done. Thank you.
Alan Borden, Commissioner, and the Unimelt process is an entirely new technology for the manufacturing of cathodes. And the cathode, there's many parts to a lithium-ion battery. Cathode probably is the most important part of the lithium-ion battery. And according to this company and this technology, it will save a lot of money and it'll provide greater efficiency at a lower cost. So we're glad to have them invest in Tennessee.
Very good. I have three quick questions. Commissioner, of the companies that signed the incentive acceptance forms, they fully understand the agreements?
They do.
And have the checklist been completed for each project?
Yes, sir, they have.
And do all the projects include an accountability agreement which provide protections to the state of Tennessee in the event the entities cannot fulfill their end of the deal?
They do.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Members, again, any further discussion or questions? If not, all those in favor of the projects as outlined, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. The items are approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Bring us more good news. As comptroller, maybe the only account I'm happy to see extended. That's for a good reason.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda today is consideration for approval of a resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance and sale of general obligations bonds of the state of Tennessee and delegation of authority to the comptroller to sell and fix the details of the bonds. Members, of course, this particular resolution is related to the new stadium here in Nashville. We did see that the Metro Council voted last night, finally, in their final hearing to move forward on the stadium project. And Sandy, I will ask you for more comments or details about the resolution we're going to consider.
I don't think it's on. Is it on?
Here it is.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the State Funding Board. In front of you, you do have the authorizing resolution to authorize the issuance of a not to exceed amount of $510 million in bonds. The $500 million does represent that grant that's going to be made to Metro. In addition, there's about between $5 and $10 million of projects that have been completed by the state that are now residing in our commercial paper program. So we're going to take that and basically refund out of the commercial paper program, repay it, take those projects to long-term debt. Prior to our sale, I'm required by our debt management policy to go over all of the details regarding this bond sale with staff. And so they would have brought you up to speed on those details, which would include the proposed structure, what's being pledged for the financing, proposed method of sale, members of the financing, all of that type of thing. So the resolution in there, we do have parameters that have been set so that the interest rate on the bonds is not to exceed 5.5% for tax exempt bonds or 6.5% for taxable bonds. And I think you probably remember from prior resolutions, those interest rates were 5 and 6, and now we have increased those to 5.5 and 6.5, taking into consideration our interest rate environment. The bonds are going to be issued pursuant to Title IX, Chapter 9 of the Tennessee Code. And as I mentioned, our proposed structure, we talked about that. That's, of course, 20-year level principal. That's how the State Funding Board does issue its debt. The state issues its debt. We're looking to issue it all tax exempt. Hopefully, the Fund Council and review of the transaction will render these and issue an opinion for a tax exempt status on those bonds. Our proposed method of sale, as always, the practice for the state is to issue these bonds competitively. However, we have incorporated in the resolution that we have the ability to sell these at negotiated sale. We have listed underwriters that we would look to participate in that in the case that we did go negotiate. There's also a recommendation letter from PFM recommending that we do issue these bonds at a competitive sale. They would definitely revise that letter if we needed to, but that's also in your packet as well. So staff is asking the board to we request the approval of the resolution to authorize the issuance of this debt. And I take it.
Members, any questions? If not, I make a motion that we approve the resolution that authorizes and provides the issuance and sale of the state's general obligation bonds, delegates the authority of the comptroller to fix the details and carry out the sale of bonds, and to sell the bonds through competitive sale based on the recommendation of PFM, the board's financial advisor.
Second.
Have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussions? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? The item is approved. Only other item on our agenda today is to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
Adjourn.
Have a motion properly seconded for adjournment, non-debatable. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? We are adjourned.